Hello, guys! As you may know, Meepo is a hero capable of farming quickly, leveling up, and accumulating gold at an impressive pace. He has multiple clones and a substantial area of effect damage from his poof ability. However, I've noticed that many Meepo players aren't fully utilizing the hero's potential, resulting in a relatively modest net worth in the first 10 minutes of the game. Today, I'll share some tips on how you can optimize your farming. I hope the video proves helpful to you. Also, thanks to everyone who leaves comments, likes, and subscribes to the channel. Thank you! So, the first trick to boost your farming speed is to pay attention to when we farm the jungle camp. After delivering 2 poofs, the creeps are left with only a sliver of health. Instead of finishing them off with both clones, I send one clone to the adjacent camp while the main Meepo takes care of the low health creeps. Then, the primary Meepo teleports using poof to the second Meepo, and we swiftly clear the camp, saving a lot of time compared to moving from one camp to another. This rapid transition between camps significantly enhances your farming efficiency. As you know, heroes like Anti-Mage with a Battle Fury and a softened blink can practically claim all jungle camps. The second piece of advice, a mistake I often see from inexperienced Meepo players, is neglecting lane creeps after acquiring the second Meepo. Some players completely retreat into the jungle, missing out on the lane creeps. In reality, this isn't the most effective approach because with just 2 poofs, you can earn as much gold from lane creeps as from 2 jungle camps. Therefore, the optimal strategy for Meepo is to quickly eliminate lane creeps with 2 poofs, then proceed to clear 2 nearby jungle camps, and finally return to claim the lane creeps once again. If you weren't aware, lane creeps arrive approximately at the 15th and 45th seconds of each minute. The rest of the time can be dedicated to farming the jungle. The third tip involves stacking, a crucial source of our wealth. As you may have noticed, Meepo has 2 units during the laning stage, meaning he can stack 2 camps per minute and then swiftly farm them thanks to the AoE damage from poofs. So, if you're faced with the choice of clearing 1 camp immediately or stacking 2 camps to clear later, opt for the latter. Here's an approximate spawn time for camps, but to simplify things, just remember that most camps stack at around the 54-55 second mark. It's a profitable investment for the future, allowing you to outfarm your opponents and become the most formidable force on the map. After all, why else would you pick Meepo, right boys? The fourth piece of advice focuses on Meepo's ability to farm the jungle quickly, which is dependent on our mana pool. If we don't have mana for poofs, our farming speed slows down, because by hitting creeps from hand, we farm really slow on early levels. To ensure a consistent mana supply, I recommend toggling power treads to intelligence before using poof. This reduces the mana cost of the ability. Additionally, don't spare money for clarity potions. If one of your Meepo clones has low mana, it's much more efficient to use a clarity on them than sending them back to base, potentially missing out on valuable farm. Therefore, it's advisable to keep a clarity potion in your backpack in advance for your Meepo clone. If your main Meepo is running low on mana, don't hesitate to teleport back to base to restore resources. Additionally, if you're fortunate enough to find an illusion rune, you gain the ability to heal 2 of your clones simultaneously. To do this, send 1 illusion to the fountain, leaving the other near a tower. Then, use poof with your clones on the illusion at the fountain, teleporting yourself there and poof back to the tower. This way, you efficiently heal 2 clones at once. The fifth tip addresses the common situation where enemy supports relentlessly pursue you through the jungle, disrupting your farming. To counteract this, I recommend always having vision on the paths leading to the jungle. Vision is our safety net, allowing you to anticipate threats and retreat to another part of the jungle without wasting time. For the Radiant, I suggest placing wards at this location. For the Dire, consider this spot. This way, you can have better control over your farming area and minimize the risk of being constantly harassed by enemy supports. The sixth piece of advice revolves around accelerating your farm by recommending the purchase of power treads before wraith bands. In the early game, start with a circlet and slippers of agility, then acquire a band of elven skin before completing your boots. The idea is that the additional movement speed enhances your mobility, allowing you to traverse between jungle camps more quickly. Moreover, it provides extra attack speed, helping you conserve mana on poofs. This approach prioritizes efficiency and agility over raw damage, contributing to a smoother and faster farming experience. And the seventh tip, to quickly farm the 2 nearest creep camps, aggro them and position your clones between these camps so that the creeps from both camps meet. At this moment, you press your poofs and all creeps from both camps take damage from it. This is one of the most effective tricks for fast farming, but it only works with camps that are close to each other. All these tips were focused on farming within the first 10 minutes. I chose to concentrate on this period because the initial 10 minutes are crucial for Meepo. As for farming after obtaining 3 clones, the fastest approach is to send each clone to farm different camps. This is done as follows. You bind each Meepo to a separate key by selecting the clone, holding down CTRL, and pressing the desired key for binding. I have my clones bound as follows. The second clone on 3, the third clone on 4, the fourth clone on 5, and the fifth clone on 6. The main Meepo is bound to the F1 key, so you select a clone and command it to farm several camps in sequence. To do this, hold down Shift and press the attack key for each of the nearby camps. This way, Meepo will autonomously farm the designated camps one after another as you instructed when pressing the attack key. However, if you're a beginner and find it challenging to control each unit individually, you can use the Shift key to send all clones except the main Meepo to attack jungle camps. This way, you may not farm as efficiently, but it's much simpler, allowing you to focus on the game without worrying about controlling each unit. Don't be afraid. For my first 500 Meepo games, I farmed in this manner, and my win rate was above 70%. So I think those are all the farming tips I wanted to share. Next, I want to showcase the first 10 minutes of a game where I farmed 112 creeps. There was a time when I could farm over 140 creeps in 10 minutes, but back then, Meepo was a completely different hero. Well, here it is.
Не выйдет! башню сил света атакуют.
Спасибо! Тебе это не нужно. Спасибо!
Thank you, my beauties.
Центральную башню сил света атакуют. Центральную башню сил света атакуют. Силы тьмы укрепили свои сооружения.
Шикарно.
Центральную башню сил света атакуют. Курьер сил тьмы был убит.
Свежее мясо.
Верхнюю башню сил тьмы атакуют. Нижнюю башню сил света атакуют. Центральную башню сил тьмы атакуют. Центральную